Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Gardening is my passion and I enjoy experimenting with different plant combinations. In today's video, I want to share some contrasting plants that I grew in containers to create a visually striking look. I will also share some care tips to keep in mind while growing these plants together. So let's get started. And since I wanted to have a contrast of purple and green in my plant collection, I also grew pothos and Tradescantia zebrina together. I'll share the link in the description. So what I did was I bought 4 plants. One English ivy, sweet potato vine purple shade, Tradescantia pallida or also known as Purpleheart. It's also a purple color plant, and the green Vinca vines, again the variegation of green. So the two of the plants have variegation of green while the other two are pure purple. Here you can see I'm placing all 4 plants together. They look fabulous. If I had a bigger container, I would definitely have put all 4 together in one, but right now I am going to use a container that I previously used for other plants. It is a 6 by 8 container. 6 is the height, the length of the planter, and 8 is the width of the planter. And the good thing is that it has good drainage holes. Always remember, when growing plants, it is important that whichever container you prefer, it must have good drainage holes. And now you can see I have decided to plant Purpleheart and Vinca vines together in one planter because I believe Purpleheart has wide long foliage while the Vinca vines have small 2-leaflet leaves on each node. So this combination would look good. On the other side, I'm going to be placing English ivy along with sweet potato vine. Here you can see some of the leaves are turning brown. The reason is that it was kept outside in too much sun. That's why it got brown leaves. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm just going to cut it off. So remember, if you have any brown tips on your English ivy, just trim them away, cut them off. And here you can see I'm using a container with good drainage, and I'm going to be placing these plants into this container. So another important thing in growing these 4 plants is the right potting mix. Give them a well draining, organically rich potting mix. Here I have used perlite, worm castings and coco peat. You could also use orchid barks and vermiculite to make your potting mix more porous. Right now I'm running out of it. I'm gently removing the plants, and now I'm going to be placing both of them together in this planter. So this is a 6 by 8 inches planter, so or the basket. You can see these 2 plants perfectly fit into this container. Now I'm gonna gently fill the soil around the plants. I'm making sure that there are no air pockets left. And now I'm just gently gonna shake the planter so that the soil gets evenly distributed all around the plant. And after that, I'm gonna be watering my plants thoroughly. Thorough watering is really important right after repotting your plants, which means you should always allow the excess water to drain out from the bottom. Now it's time to plant both of them, Purpleheart and Vinca vines. Both are perennial, both look great together. The Purpleheart is known as succulent because holds some water in its leaves. And I have 2 varieties of Tradescantia zebrina and Nanak. This is the 3rd one I have bought, and here is the potting mix ready. Now you can see I'm gonna take both the plants out from their nursery container and I'm gonna place them in the middle. Now I'm gonna backfill the soil, making sure that there are no air pockets remain, and after that I'm gonna water it thoroughly. And here is a point to remember: when planting two different types of plant together, it is important to choose plants that have appropriate space requirement. For an example, when I planted Purple Heart and Vinca together, I noticed that the Purple Heart was overshadowing the Vinca. So, to solve this, I separated the two plants and placed the Vinca vines in a separate pot. And also, here was my fault because the Tradescantia pallida, especially, they are treated as succulents. They store a lot of water in their leaves. That is why they don't require too much of water. Here you can see Vinca is growing well. It's doing well. It has been potted in a different pot. And here is an update after a month. You can see both the plants are doing so well. However, I would say the sweet potato vine is growing vigorously as compared to English ivy. And at last, I would say growing these four plants together can bring elegance to your space. The care tips for all these four plants are really simple. All of them are perennials. Always keep in mind, select a spacious container with good drainage, and these four plants love a well draining soil. For placements, I would say sweet potato vine and English ivy love bright light, or they can tolerate shade also. While purple heart and vinca, they love bright sun for at least 4 to 6 hours daily. And also remember that these plants are not cold tolerant. So if you are growing them outdoors and the temperature goes below freezing in your areas, then try to bring them indoors before the first frost. They hate cold, they cannot tolerate cooler temperatures, so just try to bring them indoors. For watering, I would say always check the soil before watering them. These plants do not like wet feet, so avoid overwatering. For fertilizing, I would say you can feed them with any liquid balanced fertilizer from spring until fall, and avoid fertilizing them during winters. Pruning and trimming are really necessary to keep them in shape, especially if they are grown together. You might need to prune them to just keep them in shape, avoid overshadowing each other. So, pruning and trimming is another important thing. And if you are experiencing any pest problems, then use neem oil. And by following these simple tips and tricks, you can grow these plants beautifully in your containers or hanging baskets. And if you really like this video, find this video helpful, give it a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay happy and happy planting.